Good morning, Alejandra. How are you?
Hello, Dharma. How are you?
I'm good. I don't know if you saw the email. I sent you an email about the statue. I can send it again.
Ah,
Another
I
one.
am so sorry. I was overwhelmed and I put it on my to-do list and I completely forgot. I'll take care of it today.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
I just need an address.
It's in Texas, so yeah, I'll send it.
Okay. All right. And let me get you going. Good morning, Patty. Welcome. Oh, Hemant, you're hiding back there. Good morning. Hi, Peter and Michael.
Hi.
Good morning, Heen. Good morning, Rainey. Good morning, Laura, Maria. Just for everyone on Zoom, just a reminder that Geshe does have a monitor that he likes to see our friends on Zoom. So if you can turn on your camera, he will appreciate that. And we expect him to come any moment now. We'll let you know. Thank you. Megan ran into place in Valley. Geshe Gelik has arrived.
So please turn to page 34 in the Gold Prayer Book, and we'll start by chanting Shakyamuni's Buddha's mantra 3 times. Page 34. Te ata mune mune maha munaye soha. Te ata mune mune maha munaye soha. Te ata mune mune maha munaye soha. And also on page 34, the Medicine Buddha stanza and mantra. So we'll say this 7 times. Bhagawan with equal compassion for all, whose name when merely heard dispels the suffering of the lower realms, dispeller of disease and the 3 poisons, I prostrate to Medicine Buddha, lapis light. Te ata om bekanze, bekanze, maha bekanze, bekanze, raja samugate soha. Te ata om bekanze, bekanze, maha bekanze, bekanze, raja samugate soha. Te ata om bekanze, bekanze, maha bekanze, bekanze, raja samugate soha. Te ata om bekanze, bekanze, maha bekanze, bekanze, raja samugate soha. Te ata om bekanze, bekanze, maha bekanze, bekanze, raja samugate soha. Teata Om Bekanze Bekanze Maha Bekanze Bekanze Raja Samugate Soha Teata Om Bekanze Bekanze Maha Bekanze Bekanze Raja Samugate Soha. Now also on page 34, the four measurables, 3 times in English. May all sentient beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all sentient beings be inseparable from the happiness that is free from suffering. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from attachment for friends or hatred for enemies. May all sentient beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all sentient beings be inseparable from the happiness that is free from suffering. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from attachment for friends or hatred for enemies. May all sentient beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all sentient beings be inseparable from the happiness that is free from suffering. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from attachment for friends or hatred for enemies. Now turn to page 37, and we'll chant the Chenrezig mantra and Green Tar mantra on page 37. Not veiled by any fault, white in color, whose head a perfect Buddha crowns in light, gazing compassionately at all beings, to you Chenrezig, all seeing one, I prostrate. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. Tare liberates from cyclic existence. Tutare liberates from the eight fears. Ture liberates from all sickness. I prostrate to the liberator, Mother Tara. Om Tare Tu Re Soha. 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 I'll turn to page 34, and Geshe-la will lead us in the refuge and bodhicitta prayer.
Sanje Jodan Zaja Janam Daki Chushe Jebe Sunam Jen Sanje Jodan Zaja Daki Chushe Jebe Dola Penja Sanje Sanje Jodan Zaja Janam Dagi Chushe Jebe Sunam Jiran Lada Lame Mena Mionji Omono Jachi Lazo Chushe Chono Chawa Chibono Sanje Songrab Rabdo Shijen Debe Junjuma Deda Shija Tambe Chunye Deshichi Namalaye Gedan Luda Nijimi Remoda Mekana Doha Kujituna Tamje Kedan Tabe Chutendo Hange Tuze Nyesune Tawa Tamje Bambeja Tambe Chunye Tenze Odam de Allah Chatse. Oh yeah. Which one? Maybe. So today they didn't get a chance last 2 weeks. Good morning. Good morning, nobody's here. So this one, in case if you are not sleep well last night, you are welcome to take good nap in the class. Simple like that. Thomas, any question from last Sunday? No question. I'm bringing this book every Sunday. Haven't read last 2 Sundays. Maybe time to read a little bit. This section, the main subject of this section is called bodhicitta. Bodhicitta. Body enlightenment. Enlightenment. Chitta is the mind that wish enlightenment for each and every living being, so not just for yourself. And also, it kind of reminds me the prayer that we say, may all sentient beings have happiness, the cause of happiness. Simje tamje dewatan devejutan dembachuji. Why is so important to have this kind of mindset? Why is so important to have not just to understand, but have like experiential understanding? Means when you say the word, it means something, it has substance, you feel something, it really means something, rather than just mere word. Simje tamje dewatang devejudan tempachuches. Wouldn't it be wonderful if everybody is happy? No, that's very good. If everybody is happy, that's wonderful things, Why you care, what you believe, what you eat, what you do? You just wish them happy. So if everybody is happy, then there's the good things. There's the good things. Don't you think? There's the good things. Wherever you look, people are smiling. There's good things, Each and every person look at each other like this kind of wish that I want you to be happy. I don't care what you believe, what you eat, what you do. I just want you to be happy, that's all. If each and every person look at each other with that kind of mindset and treat it like with that kind of mindset, there will be less problem. Less problem. Much better than praying. Prayer, of course, is good things, but implementing. So now the question arises, may all sentient beings have happiness and the cause of happiness. What is happiness? What is the cause of happiness? Do you believe happiness is caused by something, or it just happened? Here in the West, say, it just happened. Oh, there's nothing just happened. Everything happened based on cause and condition. But we say, it just happened out of nowhere. No, not out of nowhere. It's out of somewhere. So nothing just happened like that. Just the thought just happened. It kind of limits the solutions. It's the kind of minimize the solutions to how to overcome that problem. Kind of minimize the solutions because you are thinking it just happened like that. Never happened like that. It happened due to cause and condition based on so many different factors. That's how it happened. So, like this. This just happened with one hand. That's impossible. You have to have 2 hands. You think it just happened with one hand. That's not possible. Can't make noise. It has to have 2 hands like that. So all sentient beings are happy. May all sentient beings. That's a wish. That's your wish that you want to be everyone to be happy. Now the question, what is the cause of happiness? What is the cause of happiness? What is the cause of happiness? Something to think about. What is the cause of happiness? You think about happiness, physical level, mental level. Physical is not necessarily just body. all the five senses, the pleasure that you experience through five senses. According to Buddhist philosophy or Buddha's teaching, these are considered as a physical happiness and heavily dependent on object, heavily dependent on object. If the object is not longer there, so that kind of happiness is gone long before, it's gone. Mental happiness not necessarily depend on the object, harder to produce, but will last longer because it's not dependent on the object, it's just by thinking. So we do complain. We complain all the time. When you look at some other part of the world, not qualified to complain about anything, not qualified at all. People there, basic things, food, they're just starving. So when you compare, really nothing to complain. Sometimes it's good to compare. We always compare with the high up. I think the mundane level that's not good. Spiritual level is good. You want to achieve the same level. Mundane level, comparing there, and you kind of forget. There's so many down there. You forget. So many down there. You only see up. Then it's in mundane level, it's not good. It doesn't help. It doesn't help. Need to balance. Need to be balanced. So see, I was born in India, grew up in India, came here 22 years ago, almost 23 years ago, experienced both worlds, see both worlds. So now the question, please ask yourself, what is the cause of happiness? What is the cause of happiness? Is there one? Is there one? Oh no, it just happened. You just happen to be happy. You just happen to be happy, that's all. Just happen to be happy. That's like unbelievable. What is the cause now? We have this marvelous brain. You don't have to believe. You need to analyze. You need to ask more questions, question after question, question after question, till you get the answer. What is the cause of happiness? So now we divided happiness, physical, mental, physical, sensory pleasure. This is considered as physical happiness. Mental. So now, is there such a thing called mental happiness? Do anybody experience mental happiness? It's kind of relatively deep compared to physical happiness. Mental happiness is not, it's kind of deep. Oh, does happiness, once you be happy, you have to jump up and down and scream and like, no, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. You don't have to get, you don't have to jump up and down. Not talking of excitement. Of course, that's part of, happiness that, kind of like, there's a kind of expression. It's not itself is not happiness. It's the kind of expressions, physical expression, verbal expressions. These are just expressions of happiness. Happiness is inside. Is it possible to just to be happy by thinking something? Oh, that's what is called meditations. Thinking. That's called meditations. Nothing more, nothing less. Thinking. Once you start to think, you are meditating. Otherwise, if you consider satisfaction how you define satisfaction? How you define satisfactions? How you define satisfactions? Chokshe, how you define? How we define satisfaction? How we measure satisfactions? How? Sense of compilations? Sounds very good. Anybody else want to say satisfaction, chokshir. So, yeah, that's very good sense of completions. Sense of completions. Completions? Yeah, very good. Yeah, please, more donations. I can take more break. Yeah, greatly helping me. So I may fall into.
We'll give it a shot.
I may become like this right now, sitting like this. All of a sudden, see there.
You're getting us to think.
Yeah, oh, yeah, please.
I would say satisfaction is a sense of contentment measured by an inner sense of peace.
Oh, very good. Yeah, more. If we are no pressure. Welcome to share. No pressure. We are just friends. We are just friends. That's all. Can we achieve satisfaction by desire? By desire. Desire. Can we achieve satisfaction chasing desire? Chasing desire? Chasing desire. Yeah.
You have desires, but they have to be fulfilled. You have to reach completion. You have to win the World Cup. You have to marry the most beautiful girl. You have to write the greatest novel. You have a goal and you achieve it. That's for me.
Good. Marry the most beautiful girl? Oh. So that means monks are not satisfied. Oh yeah. Anybody else? Debe ngomba minchulas. Debe ngomba doba is desire. Doba means desire. The text says you are not going to be satisfied by desire. You don't have to believe. Time to analyze. Is that true? Do you ever satisfy by doing something? If you are looking more, that means you are not satisfied. So now then, in the text, so then how to satisfy? Says, by wisdom. Sharapchini ngombechis. So that kind of eating something, where's the pleasure? Is just here or here or here or here. You just taste something good. When you smell something good, does that spread all through body or life? Smelling something good. Is your eyes happy? Smelling something good. Your tongue is happy. Touching something smooth, yes. Oh, so smooth. But of course, you are happy because one of the senses is experiencing. You have to say indirectly, I am happy, but you say, oh, I'm smiling. Smelling. Actually, you are not really smelling. Your nose is the one who's smelling, but you say, I'm smelling. And that. So something to think about, if you are having a lot of difficulties, not being satisfied, time to analyze, time to answer why, time to analyze. Not having desire is the best. Not having desire is the best, but it's hard to achieve. Not having desire is the best, but hard to achieve. The process is much longer than actual pleasure. The process is much longer than actual pleasures regarding to five senses. Amount of pleasure that you experience based on the five senses, all the process is much longer than actual pleasures. That's called wisdom, something to think about, Debe ngomba minjula, sherab jini ngombechi. Sherab, no cherab. Cherub, what is cherub? What is that? Angel? Yeah, sometimes, first time when I come here many years ago, when I say cherub, people start to hear cherub. It's not cherub. It's not cherub, it's like cherub, it's like wisdom. In Tibetan word, it's called wisdom, cherub. Cherub jini wombechis. You are going to be content, satisfied by wisdom. What's trying to say? What is trying to say? Did you ever content, be happy just by thinking? Just by thinking. Just check with yourself. Did you ever did something like that ever happen? Sitting in front of the beach, looking at the ocean, the wave, the sunset. Did you ever be happy because you are not eating something? You know. Oh. Time to analyze. Happiness can be achieved by just thinking something. Because when you are in front of the ocean in the afternoon, when you're looking at the wave, you are not angry looking at it. You are so angry with the wave and looking at it. Not like that. Or maybe you have neutral mind. Or maybe a positive mind, you know. So that's the first question. Shut up, Chinning Wombechis. You are going to be content, satisfied. Should I say by or wisdom? Wisdom, by wisdom? Yeah, by wisdom. Does that statement, does that make sense at all? Does it make sense at all? Do I ever experience, not looking at the questions, do I ever experience anything wonderful without looking, eating, smelling, touching, hearing? Do I ever experience anything like something wonderful not by looking, smelling, hearing, eating, touching? The answer is yes. Oh, so that could increase, tremendously increase. That could increase, tremendously increase. Oh. Can you give me any example? Anybody want to give example? Experience something incredible, not by eating, looking, hearing, smelling, touching. Is it possible? Is it possible? Or something to think about. Okay, something to think. If the answer is no, probably need further analysis. Might not be true. But don't just stuck with that. No, might not be true. You need to think, rethink. If the answer is yes, that's the truth. That's the truth answer. But I don't want you to just believe. You need to analyze. And how you did that, how you did it. No, one time, two times, you did it. How? Where, when? What kind of circumstance needed for you to have that happiness again? What kind of circumstance? Oh, these are all good things to analyze. Yeah, so please don't say, I never experienced that. No, you did experience, but no, remember, but we experience different scale here, there, not all the time. You know, so not having desire is hard to achieve, but need to analyze all the complications, difficulty, problem. Is it based on the amount of desire that I have? Like, you know, so need to weigh, need time to, how you say, time to, when you put something here, 1 pound, 2 pound, what do you call this? Scale? Oh, need to weigh. Oh, don't be surprised here, you put 2 pound here, 1 pound here, it's going to be like this. Don't be surprised, it's going to be like this, it's not going to be like that. In order to have balance, you have to have 2 pound, then it's going to be balanced. Like that. May all sentient beings have happiness, cause of happiness. May I have happiness, cause of happiness. Yeah, that's also good to wish to have. So now the question is, what is the cause of happiness? What is the cause of happiness? If your cause of happiness is like warm chocolate chip cookie from a Whole Food, that's not very sophisticated one. That's not sophisticated one. Or easy to achieve or easy to lose too. Satisfaction, cause of happiness. So, and also need some different understanding. If you are experiencing sensory pleasure or happiness, these are not really, unfortunately, not really true happiness. It's just a break from something difficult. It's just break, temporary break. Temporary break. It's not like everlasting break. It's temporary break. Need to have knowledge about impermanent change. Probably you can enjoy more. You can enjoy more if you have different set of knowledge, like about change, everything change, moment by moment, change, relationship change, friend change, weather change. Today's hot, tomorrow's cold. Day after tomorrow's raining. It's all the change. Change is very important to understand the true nature of change. It's very important to understand the change. Also, in Buddhism, what is called death and impermanent meditations. Death and impermanent meditations. That's how you say impermanent and death meditations. Just to remind yourself daily basis, just reminding yourself, these are all the facts. It's not just religious belief. These things is going to happen. It's only a matter of time. Life is complicated. Don't act like it's all good. It's not all good. It's complicated. It's complicated. Need many understanding in order to keep this complex life on right track. This many knowledge, many thinking. Otherwise, second, you can make your life miserable. Doesn't want to take that long. So easy to make your life miserable. So easy. It's piece of cake. That's exactly piece of cake. That's called piece of cake. What do you think? That is piece of cake. Making your life happy, that's not piece of cake. It requires some effort. Making your life miserable is piece of cake. Sorry to say, sorry. Very sorry, but that's the truth. I'm very sorry. That's the truth.
In Athens, around 430 BC, at the academy, Socrates' students asked him, "How do you become happy?" His answer was, "You make the right choices." What do you think about that? It's always choices.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think that's true. I did read about this name, Socrates, what do you call Socrates? Socrates. I read a little bit. I usually don't read anything in English because there's tons of books in Tibetan I haven't read. I became monk when I was 7 years old, very young, so now become old. So still there's hundreds of books I haven't read. Always think, I'm going to read, never happened. Still sitting on my shelf. I think that's true. You make choice. So,
You can make one wrong choice in one moment, one instant, and then everything falls apart.
I think the choice refers to the positive one. I don't think there's any choice. I think wrong choice, doesn't make you happy. No. I think the choice is like refers to positive one. I don't think So making wrong choice is going to happen.
It's in the prison a lot when I work with guys.
Mm.
Desire versus happiness. I mean, not. I'm sorry. Desire versus wish. Right. Is there such thing as positive desire? We always talk about desire bringing us suffering if we chase after desires, but we do desire to be enlightened, right? Like we wish to be enlightened.
Not necessarily into like desire bring sufferings.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like that.
Not like that. Okay.
Hoping to be satisfied, content by desire, that's not, according to the teachings, that's not, it will not happen. Hoping to satisfy by desire. You need wisdom.
Okay.
Not saying, oh, desire brings suffering. No. Desire brings also pleasure too. Not saying that. Eating chocolate chip cookies, there's nothing wrong. Eating chocolate chip cookie from Whole Food, there's nothing wrong. You are kind of happy, so there's nothing wrong. Nothing wrong. But what is wrong is if you think, oh, I'm going to be happy all the time, each time when I eat chocolate chip cookie, probably that's not true. So desire does not, I think, necessarily bring suffering, but hoping to be content by desire. So that is the mistake.
Oh, okay.
Need further analysis. Don't just believe, analyze. I have desire. Do you have desire? Yeah, we all have desire. So, and just watch your whole live video. So then you have some you are going to have some clue. So like desire don't necessarily bring suffering. It could bring.
That's good to know.
Yeah, pleasure. So that's probably a mistake. Good question. Very good question. So now the question is how to satisfy by wisdom. How to satisfy. When you talk about wisdom, how many different types of wisdom you are talking about? Oh, according to Buddhism, wisdom produced by reading, listening. First wisdom produced by reading, listening. Never heard about how to make pizza. All of a sudden went to like what do you call like. Nowadays, they have like this course, like whenever travel to other countries. What do you call? They have some course, they teach you how to cook. What is it called? Cooking class. Cooking class. Never heard of how to make pizza. Went to cooking class, heard how to make pizza. That is wisdom. It's not there before because you don't know. So now you do know how to make pizza, you heard. That's called wisdom generated by, or maybe you read the recipes. But never made one, but just read the recipes. Never made one. And keep thinking to make one, never happened. Still keep talking about how to make pizza, but never made one. Went to the class, never made one. So that's by listening. Then now you are thinking about recipe of the pizza, thinking, oh, this is getting a little bit serious. You are thinking at home, in the kitchen, sitting, thinking, but never made one. So finally you made one. So that is the best wisdom. So experience. Then thinking, contemplating what it does, you will never forget the recipe of the pizza. You keep repeating in your mind. It's fresh there. Heard one time, completely never thought about that, forgot. So that more likely you could, you could lose that information from your brain. Yeah, you forget. The reason you don't forget because you keep thinking. When you need it, it's there. Because you've been thinking, when you need it, it's there. So like that. Read, hear something, keep thinking. When you need it, it's there. So now you are really thinking quite seriously. So then, for example, for the pizza, then you start to buy dough, tomato, whatever you need, cheese, then then you make one. So maybe that's the way to enjoy homemade pizza. So it requires not just sit like that, oh, may I have pizza? It's not going to happen like that. So you learn, so then you cook, so then you make pizza, either it's good or not, so then you can see some result. Same thing. Teaching shut up. Wisdom generated by hearing, reading, wisdom generated by thinking, and wisdom generated by deep thinking. Oh, that's the best one, best. So these are the wisdom that you're talking about, how to be content by wisdom. That's what it means by these three types of wisdom. So now you have some idea. So now the question is how to do. I don't know. Did this thought ever occur? Oh, I was so blessed. I was so blessed. How it occur? By eating something? Not necessarily. How this thought occur once a while, once a blue moon, but we could say, oh, I was so blessed, so happy. So then you have like, this because of this. You are happy because of this. You have count in your mind. Very happy. Oh, that's happiness produced by wisdom. That's what happiness produced by wisdom. So now meditating on loving kindness, compassion, bodhicitta, oh, you could be happy. You could be happy just by thinking about. What do you mean meditation on compassion? Oh, you're thinking about compassion. When you think about compassion, one of your thoughts becomes compassion. So that's exactly what is called meditation on compassion. It means like you're not learning something new. One of your thoughts becomes compassion. So that's why you are happy, mentally happy. May all sentient beings have happiness, cause of happiness. That thought is very much fresh, very much alive. You are happy, very happy. When you think, you are happy. When you think deep, you are happy. When you see other people, you look at them differently. Each and every person wants something. One what? Not suffering. One happiness. You give that, you will be happier. If you destroy that, you are going to be unhappy. That's not just religious belief, that's the fact. That's the fact. Ask each person here, who wants suffering? Who wants suffering? Who wants suffering? Nobody. Nobody. See that? So who want to ask these questions? Could be Christian, could be Buddhist, could be atheist, could be all kinds of things. You ask that person. That knowledge is very much needed, very much needed. Easy to say. Unfortunately, I'm the one who's saying it. You could say the same thing. You could sit here or say the same thing. But you need to think.
I don't think you can separate suffering from happiness. If you suffer, if bad things happen, then you appreciate more the good things that happen. They're part of the same thing. They're not separate. They're not separable, I don't think.
What do you say? What do you say?
Happiness and suffering.
Yeah, maybe time to debate. Time to have no positive debate. So I need to tell you something before we have debate. When you debate, your face can be like Rocky Mountain. But your heart has to be like Snow Mountain, pure white. Pure white. What we are hoping to get to the point that we all get benefited. In the monastery, when you go, when you see, when they debate, nobody's laughing. Everyone's so serious. But it's supposed to be, your heart's supposed to be like all pure white. But you can't really see it. But what you see is like their facial expressions that looks very much like practicing kung fu or fighting each other. That's not what's happening. They're trying to just to understand. Yeah, please. Oh, sorry. So now all the people here appear on the Zoom.
Dennis, is that your name?
Yeah.
Is it Dennis? What you're saying makes sense to me because, kind of thinking on a continuum, maybe like a hermetic continuum, right? In order to understand and truly see happiness or experience happiness, we have to have, or what I think you're saying that makes sense to me is the inverse also has to be experienced, so we have a vantage point to know when the happiness has occurred, because it's such a direct polar difference, but it's still on the same continuum. In basically what that means in terms of non-duality, in order to have one, the other must also be true. And how do you reconcile that? And I offer that. I don't know if that makes sense to anybody, but how do you reconcile the fact that happiness, and in order to really truly see and know I'm happy, one must know what it is to be dissatisfied, non-content, non-happy, and to come from that vantage point to say, this is happiness, because I know suffering. And suffering, and I can't live, maybe I can live an existence without complete suffering, but I have lived an existence with suffering. In order to know when happiness drops in, I'm like, that's
You
different.
mean that we have to have knowledge of the suffering? Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. That's very true. Otherwise, how you define happiness if you don't know what knowledge of sufferings? Anybody from the Zoom you want to contribute? Please, you are welcome. Even though physically you are so far away, we can still see you. Friend in Patagonia, if you want to contribute, please do.
This is one of the things that we hear all the time, and one of the things we say, and one of the things that we believe, that we have to have suffering in order to know happiness. I'm not quite sure if that's true.
Knowledge of suffering.
Yeah, or we have to experience something. We have to have suffering in our lives in order to know what happiness is. I'm not quite sure if that's true. We say it, we believe it, but we all wish, right, to have happiness and its causes, and to be free from suffering and its causes. We all wish this. That means, I think, that it's possible to have, right, happiness without suffering. And I think that's the goal. That's what we're striving for. Do I have to have the suffering in order to know what happiness is? I can recall times of actually knowing happiness, experiencing happiness, and I didn't have any suffering. I was just happy. I think the thing with suffering is that what we can do is that we can learn from the suffering. And so when we experience suffering, we can learn from that. We can say, oh, this causes suffering. This doesn't cause happiness. I don't want to do that one, right? And so I work on not doing those things that take me away from my goal of happiness. So I think in our minds we conflate the two, and we think that you have to have one in order to have the other, because that's how it appears to us. But I think, again, these are appearances. This is not necessarily reality. But we see that this is it because it's always been that way. I work on this all the time. I'm thinking about this all the time. Is it possible to be able to have happiness and not have the suffering? And I keep coming to the conclusion that, yes, it is possible, but I have to work towards that by eliminating the suffering in my life.
Question is like how you define suffering. Now question boils down how you define suffering.
May I just talk about Andre's comment?
Yes.
It helps me when I'm happy or when I'm not happy to remember it's a subtle continuum, and that even when I'm eating that cookie, I'm going to be eventually less and less enthralled with the cookie, and then something else will happen. And so when bad things happen, I can remember that it will move on.
So that's interesting one. Is there such a thing called like suffering of eating like chocolate chip cookies? But that's very interesting. The suffering of eating chocolate chip cookie from Whole Food.
One thing I've noticed, I know people are thinking deeper than this, but it seems as if we talk about happiness and suffering as something that happens to us, like an outside thing. But to me, it's more of my reaction. You're asking what is satisfaction? And to me, it's to not be upset over something. Like the same incident at one point, I may suffer. It makes me very unhappy. But as I become stronger, I'm better able to deal with things, the same thing will happen and it won't bother me. So for me, suffering is not something that happens to me, it's how I react. Like here I am today, I'm fine. I visited last year and I cried the whole time. Same thing, but I was suffering then and I'm fine now. So it's not really that, it's just how you use. I guess it is true that you have to sort of know what suffering feels like to you to know that, but it's not that, I don't know. Probably I'm just looking at it too superficially, but I got to keep reminding myself that it doesn't happen to me.
Make sense, make 100% sense.
I create my own.
You get, that
I am
means
the
like
cause.
you gain more like antidote.
Mhm.
Yeah, antidote, you gain more antidote. Antidote? Yeah, that's good, that's very good. So I learned, yeah, please, yeah. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Eva. I have a question about it then. I'm thinking a little bit deeper, and pardon me if I'm going off path, but is it an addiction? Suffering is an addiction. Is it an addiction?
That's kind of covered. So, did you ever saw the hair on your palm? Did anybody saw the hair on your palm? Huh? Time to use the microscope, like what to call? Huh? Microscope, and look, put your palm under the microscope and look at if there's hair. There should be hair. There should be hair, yeah, palm of your hand. You can't see it now, but there should be hair. That's like to understand the true nature of suffering is hard as seeing the hair in your palm of your hand. It's not that easy. You know, like, am I making any sense? In Buddhism, the nature of suffering is like having the clear, the good understanding of nature of suffering is seeing the hair on your palm. It's hard as that. You can see. You cannot see. It's there. You cannot see. Cannot see. It's there. Please, if you have microscope at home, please, and next Sunday prove that you saw the hair. So that's why, like suffering is not pain. It's not just pain. It's not pain. The pain is part of the suffering. Suffering not necessarily means pain. So that's why I keep using this word complications. Complication. Complication doesn't have to be pain. So all kind of complications. So so now good discussion. Maybe time. No, continue. 1 hour.
Can I just answer that and
What-
that?
what?
No.
What time? Been 1 hour? Yeah. So need to stick with the time. So sorry. So
I
people
agree
has to
with
probably
both
go.
ladies in certain
Go
ways, and I
5 minutes
disagree
to
in
go
others.
something. So next time, if you want to stay here 1.5 hour, 2 hour, vote. So I don't mind to stay. Vote. So then, yeah, then we will expand. So night now 1 hour. Okay. Oh yeah, Chitra Matra. Yeah. 好，
In the Gold Prayer Book, please turn to page 246, and we'll read the dedication verses from Master Shantideva's Bodhikariyavatara. May all beings everywhere, plagued by sufferings of body and mind, obtain an ocean of happiness and joy by virtue of our merits. May no living creature suffer, commit evil, or ever fall ill. May no one be afraid or belittled with a mind weighed down by depression. May the blind see forms and the deaf hear sounds. May those whose bodies are worn with toil be restored on finding repose. May the naked find clothing, the hungry find food. May the thirsty find water and delicious drinks. May the poor find wealth, those weak with sorrow find joy. May the forlorn find hope, constant happiness, and prosperity. May there be timely rains and bountiful harvests. May all medicines be effective and wholesome prayers bear fruit. May all who are sick and ill quickly be freed from their ailments. Whatever diseases there are in the world, may these never occur again. May the frightened cease to be afraid, and those bound be freed. May the powerless find power, and may people think of benefiting each other. For as long as space remains, for as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. I'll go to page 244 and 245, and we'll read the long life prayers. First for His Holiness on 244. In the land encircled by snow mountains, you are the source of all happiness and good. All-powerful Chenrezig Tenzin Gyatso, please remain until samsara ends. The long life prayer on 245 for Sarah J. Khyentse Rinpoche Jetsun Losang Dalek. The one who mastered his speech at a very young age, the one with great patience, who received the name Avatare, the one with great precision, who spread the teachings of Lama Tsongkhapa on Bliss and Void, Lama ornament of the Yellow Hat tradition, please remain until samsara ends. And then on the back cover of the Gold Prayer Book, a prayer for the swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche. Peerless teacher and assembly of the children of victorious ones, Shravakas and Patyeka Buddhas. Victorious Losang, father and sons, along with the lineage masters, all the objects of refuge of the infinite lands, please bestow the virtue and goodness of accomplishing this prayer here and now. Holding and spreading the Muni's precious and complete teachings through explanation and practice, you wore the armor of patience that is never discouraged. Incomparable, venerable Guru, to you I make request. While striving single-pointedly at the sake of the victorious one's teachings, the sole gateway through which all benefit and happiness emerge, and for mother living beings. You suddenly departed to peace. What a great loss. Nevertheless, through the undeceiving truth of the blessings of the ocean of the three jewels and the great waves of bodhicitta of the children of victorious ones, may the smile of a reincarnation swiftly beam in glory for fortunate disciples. And then the long life prayer for Geshe-la and Geshe Sampo. Om Tare Tu Re Soha. 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 Om Tare Tu Re Soha.
Okay, thank you. Have a nice weekend. All my friends on Zoom, have a nice weekend. Thank you, Alexander, translating all the people in Patagonia. Hopefully see you soon. Very. Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Zoomies. Have a